Previously on AFTN.
3 of their guys are going to the Pacific FC training camp. I won't name who they are because it's maybe not fair to the guys, but it's 3 guys, regulars with Reno's Tigers. They've been invited to the training camp. They'd been to the trials, they'd impressed, so they've been invited back. One of them's Japanese, which, if anyone knows Reno's Tigers, will narrow down who the one Japanese player is. I'll break some.
The other one's 5'7"
news.
Has blue eyes.
Plays left back. The other one is a forward. Actually, the other one is Ellie Guindo, who I'm a big fan of.
You're just going to have to edit this out.
Welcome to another episode of There's Still Time, the AFTN Soccer Show on CITR Radio, 101.9 FM, broadcasting from the unceded Musqueam Territory at the University of beautiful British Columbia. And if you're listening to this show on the podcast, this is episode 318. I am Michael McCall.
I'm Steve Pander.
And I'm Zachary Adam Eisenhammer.
And what a busy week. Oh no, wait a minute. So that was my script from a few months ago. Oh yeah, nothing's happened. Yep. Another quiet week in Whitecapsland.
Nothing super happened?
No, nothing at all. I didn't find it that super. We'll come to that as the show goes on. I know we're into 2019 now, but I still feel in a 2018 kind of mood. So in homage to the Whitecaps, we're giving away presents every week on the AFTN Soccer Show. And we're going to start with the big news of the week. Zach's present from Christmas has arrived. And Steve, I got a shipping notification. Yours is on the way.
Okay, let me do. Are you doing them now?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to do Steve's first.
Oh yeah, because Steve got a present last week. If you weren't listening last week, Steve already had the present. So Zach took it back to whatever rinky-dink.
I told him I would take it back for him.
I told him I would take it for free.
Okay, so it's a legendary. The game
This is right here. This one right here.
Oh.
It's a Champions expansion pack. Thank you,
Tell
Zach.
him who's in it.
Alphonso Davies.
You got the new Incredible Hulk, Gwen Poole, Nova, Kamala Khan.
Yeah, and Vision.
Oh, the Vision.
And Fing Fang Foom.
Vision's daughter, yeah, exactly.
Fing Fang Foom and some clown named Pagliucci or Paglucci. Or?
Yeah, they're new villain. Well, Fing Fang Foom's an old villain from...
He was awesome in the 1982 World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're thinking 94... The keeper for Italy?
I'm thinking who was the bald referee? Was that actually not him?
No, that's Collina.
Pagliucci's isn't he from the
Pierluigi
opera?
Collina.
That's who I'm thinking.
He's from the
opera.
opera.
I have another gift for you. This is from Massimo, but Will said, you should give it to Steve. So Massimo months ago got tickets or was invited to the, what's it called? The premiere whatever thing of Deadpool 2.
Oh, okay.
And so he doesn't go to movies, but he went anyways. And so he got these. He got one of these. So there's one.
Oh, cool.
What's it called? It says on it what it's called.
A desk buddy.
A desk buddy.
Don't open it; it loses value. You can't sell it on eBay if you open it.
I don't think this has any value. They're giveaways.
Oh well.
I think this probably just hooks onto something like a pencil.
I think it just sits on your desk.
Ooh.
Oh.
There you go.
There you go.
That's from Massimo. That's from yeah. Put him there.
Thanks, Mass.
Okay, you saddos, let's get back to some football talk. Let's give Zach his present. No spoilers, but it's football related, because I thought when we gave presents on a football show, we would do football presents, but apparently not.
Oh, I can take back the Negan bat if you want.
Yeah.
Will they exchange it with the blood that's on it?
Oh, Michael.
Okay, so I've wrapped yours in pussy paper. It's a
cat.
It's a cute cat, yeah.
The thing is about
If you have this, I'm afraid it's a bit wet. I've just noticed because my grapes were in with it. Sorry.
the thing is the thing is getting you something football related was like I said,
No,
I
it's
said in the past,
impossible.
it'd be
That's fair
impossible.
enough. Yes.
I think I already have your gift for next year lined up.
Well, if you already have this, just
Should I
re-gift it.
open it?
Yeah, open it. That's the whole point of giving
it-
it to you now.
It's not a book.
No. You're good at guessing, you said, so.
It doesn't feel like closing the box.
No.
Open it. Okay. They're giving me the open it, hurry it up sign. They give it to me every week.
He looks confused. I don't know if it means he has it.
No, I do not have this. This is wonderful.
I went over budget for the both of you because your presents were late.
Oh, no. Hey, don't worry. This is awesome. This is, for those not watching,
Oh, it's a build a stadium.
It's a 3D puzzle of the Fußball Arena München, also known as the Allianz Arena. This is beautiful, Michael.
because I actually got that for my nephew who was a Man City fan.
I do not have this. Oh, there's other ones.
I got him the stadium that they play in.
I also have this box, which is a build your own Whitecaps waterfront stadium. Sadly, it is empty.
This is awesome. I am over 7 years, so I can build it.
Yes. I know. I thought you like your kid stuff, so like Lego. I guess it's a cheap knockoff Lego thing.
No, it's a puzzle.
No,
Yeah.
it's a puzzle. It was almost made of cardboard.
150 pieces. That was going to be your present next year, but now this year's present that still hasn't arrived from China
Will be next year's.
will be next year's present. I've sent Greg Anderson on a trip though to get it. We booked him another flight from the AFTN travel agency, so he's whizzing his way off to China now. Might come back with a player or two. We'll have to see what happens. But I thought that present was quite fitting
this
because
is great.
another big news today
Yes.
is Alphonso Davies
One game,
made his Bayern Munich
Half a
debut.
one victory.
It was a meaningless cup
One trophy.
It's
competition.
half a game.
Hey,
Yeah,
45
meaningless cup.
the Telecom Cup. Actually, it used to be a preseason tournament, and now they put it in the
So a
in the
meaningless
middle.
cup. I was talking to someone yesterday
But
who
they-
said, "Are you getting up to watch this?" Like, it's not even a proper game.
But they actually allowed him to raise it though.
Yes.
Yeah,
They
gave-
gave
Yeah.
him the chance to raise it.
He had a nice little move, a little nutmeg, got brought down in the box for a penalty, I felt. Definitely was clipped. Ball was going out, but he was
It
clipped.
wasn't given.
No.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did well. Good to see him getting 45 minutes. And big game against Hoffenheim on the 18th, which is the first
Yeah.
Bundesliga game back. So we'll
So,
see if he gets
Yeah, the
minutes
thing
then.
is that I watched the YouTube video that Bayern put out on him, and you got Thomas Müller, you got the goalkeeper
Manuel Neuer.
Yeah,
Happy New Year.
They were talking like glowingly about him. The fact that he's fitting in. He seems to be like a really fun guy to hang around with. He's got great ability, and he has. Lewandowski said he has a potential to be a star, or something like that in the newspapers today.
What are they going to say?
Of course they're going to say it, but they
And
wouldn't.
They
that
paid
guy.
22
But
million
honestly-
for him. I would
But
hope he has the
honestly, they
potential
wouldn't.
to be
I
a
don't think.
star.
I don't think they would pronounce it
No.
that much
Yeah.
without. Like, I think they would bring it down if they didn't feel like it
Right.
was the case. Yeah.
No, yeah.
At least it didn't go who dat.
Yeah. Yeah. Who are you talking about? Which guy? No, it's exciting times for him. The Hoffenheim game, I think I might have said this once a long time ago on the show, but Hoffenheim is kind of like, after Dead Bull, probably the second least liked club in Germany, because it is also this kind of like this owner from nothing that, like the town of Hoffenheim is like Sensheim, where the stadium is like 3,000 people, and it's like a 30,000 seat stadium, and he kind of bought their way through the leagues, and there's people do not like Hoffenheim.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a game. The great thing is Sportsnet.
Sportsnet World.
No, but
Oh, it's gonna be on
they're
proper
putting,
Sportsnet.
Yeah, well, John Molinaro tweeted out that they're putting on all the channels.
See,
I'm excited.
that is good, but at the same time, you buy Sportsnet World for a reason,
Which I haven't yet.
to get this additional
this year.
stuff.
I haven't had it for a few years
They
now.
said it was the home of the FA Cup, and then last weekend, all the FA, well, not all, but a lot of the FA Cup games were on the main channel. So it's not a big incentive for you to actually go and buy the channel.
It's going to be weird to see what happens with if, because they're losing the Premier League, or maybe they'll get one game a week or whatever. But much longer do they have the Bundesliga rights, and are they going to then make that their everything on all their channels?
The thing is, I believe, and I could be mistaken, that if you just have the regular Sportsnet and you go online,
Yes.
Sportsnet now, you can watch all the Bundesliga.
No.
Or Bayern
This-
and Dortmund.
This is how it works.
Okay.
Because I do this. I think I've mentioned this before, but what happens is, if you have the Sportsnet channels, you have access to Sportsnet Now. So on Sportsnet Now, what you can watch is whenever they aren't showing a Bundesliga game live
Yes.
on Sportsnet World, it's
Yeah.
available on Sportsnet Now. There's only one time where they didn't do that, and I tweeted at them. They're like, "We don't know what you're talking about." But that looks good up there. Deadpool's rising.
So the other big news this week, the Whitecaps have another player.
No.
Fanfare emoji.
No. He's not signed to an MLS contract.
That's true.
True.
But he's not
Man,
a trial.
you should piss on my parade so often. I have to go wearing a Macintosh.
He's no more a Whitecap player than you are in that than you are a UBC.
You saying I've got a chance?
Then you are a UBC player.
No. Hey, you said Whitecap player. I'm turning up to training camp next Monday expecting a scrimmage, which to be fair, I've got an iffy chance of.
Yeah.
There is a good chance there's going to be more media at the Whitecaps media day next Monday than actual players.
There's going to be media there?
Maybe not. I don't know how many folk they've annoyed. We'll see.
or how many? Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, Brendan McDonough, 22-year-old centre-back from Georgetown. 63 appearances in the college game over 4 years. Only 2 goals and 2 assists, so he's not a big scoring centre-back like some of the other guys.
He's been the captain for the
years.
last 2 years as well.
Yeah, we always seem to go for the captains.
They like leadership.
Marc Dos Santos, so he got his man. 35th, and he got the guy that he wanted. Yeah.
That's another thing you hear.
Did you talk to him about that yet?
No, he did say that, though. McDonough, well, he comes from a good sporting stock.
Yeah.
Steve was telling me all this. Son of Arizona Cardinals Vice President of Player Personnel, Tony McDonough.
Terry
McDonough.
Yeah. One of his brothers, Sean, is
McDonough.
We used to do play-by-play for Monday Night Football, but he also did play-by-play for the Boston Red Sox.
Oh,
and
Harold like that.
Another brother of his, I can't remember his name. I think it might be Ryan.
Something McDonough?
Yeah, it might be Ryan. He was the GM of the Phoenix Suns, which is a basketball team. His grandfather was one of the most famous sports writers out of Boston. Was one of the first sports writers to be on television for like Sunday football. Will McDonough. So, like I said, a lot of stock, but it's weird because his father and his 2 uncles have championship rings in each of their sports. So it's
it's an omen.
Yeah, so it's basically one has it in football, American football, one has it in hockey, baseball, and one has it in basketball.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see what he does.
Yeah. Well, let's hear just a little snippet from Marc Dos Santos from Friday's draft, just talking about going for Brendan McDonough.
Brendan is a centre-back that has a good margin to progress. He's a player that catched our eye when we were looking at the combine and even before. And he's a centre-back that, again, has the ability to play in a back 4 or in a back 3. We like speaking with him also to learn about the person. He's comfortable on the ball. He's aggressive defensively. So we're proud to have him. We knew that at the 35th pick, we had to pick the best player possible, and he was always number 1 for us in that type of round. So we're happy with the pick.
You've said you want center backs that have pace, that have speed, can get up and down the pitch. Does he have that in his locker?
He doesn't have maybe all of it now, but he has a lot of the tools. To say that he has everything we want in a center back would make him perfect. No, but he's a player with a great margin to progress. He wants to learn. He's intelligent. So we think that he's very close to the type of profile that we look for.
He's not here at the draft. Were you able to speak to him by phone? Is he excited?
Yeah, very, very excited. He enjoyed a lot our talk, and he's very happy to come to Vancouver.
Was there any interest in the club moving up maybe to the first round or swapping picks around at all?
No interest there.
Why?
Because we just felt that to move up there we would have to give a lot, and we felt that in that moment it wasn't our place. We're focused in other areas in the club right now.
So just some thoughts there from Marc Dos Santos.
A couple of other things about McDonough. He talked about his intelligence. He was on the all-academic team.
Oh.
I think he went into Georgetown with a 4.1 GPA, which is more than 4 is the max usually. A couple. Go ahead with what you were going to say.
Well, he Googles.
No, he's not Googling. He has notes.
I have notes.
I know, he's very organised tonight.
He's always.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that. Something else Dos Santos said on Friday after the draft is he doesn't want to put any pressure on McDonough. So they kind of kept him away from the media. He didn't do any chats. Don't want to build his hopes up that he's going to be definitely hanging around, but he's not calling him a trialist either. He's also not saying he's definitely going to be part of the team. They want to just have a look at him. I think that's fair. Second round picks don't notoriously do much.
With the Whitecaps, at least.
With a lot of teams,
Well,
really,
I think-
especially in the Whitecaps. We've had two. Jeb Brodsky was one.
Bilal Duckett were the only two.
Yeah, Bilal Duckett, that good old Ryman
They were
slam.
both great.
Yeah.
Nobody said they weren't.
I
The
did,
other thing I was going to say is that he actually trained in Germany.
Yes.
oh, right.
Yeah.
When he was in high school for FT Braunschweig and Eintracht Braunschweig.
Yeah.
He speaks fluent German as well.
Eintracht Braunschweig is
Oh,
where,
you can talk to Jordy
where
then.
Randy played.
Yeah. The one thing about his athletic traits, he finished in the top 5 amongst all combine invitees in agility, which is something you don't get normally with a center back. Usually they're kind of lumbering. So it's interesting to see. He's obviously might not have straight ahead speed, but maybe he's got some ability to move
How
around.
tall is he again?
6'2", 6'3".
Right.
I mean, right now, if we're being honest, looking at the roster, he's got a pretty good chance of being on it because he's only the second centre back we have.
Yeah.
Well, you'll know how much of a likelihood he's there when the Whitecaps Twitter account starts to respond to people asking for a player. Like, have you seen those? People are like, do you even have enough players to play a game this year? Or whatever, like stupid comments.
I haven't seen that.
And they're like, actually, we have a roster of 18. So now we'll see if their answer changes to we have a roster of 19.
Maybe. Because...
Felipe welcomed him to the team. So that's something.
Oh,
yes.
well, that's good.
Yeah.
Wow. Felipe's a nice guy, though. We'll talk more about the draft in the next part. But, yeah, talking about we're up to 19 now. Still no real signings because, as you said, he's not even really a signing, but he's there.
Could we talk about a couple things that were reported?
Yeah, why not?
One was on MLS website about Gary Hooper.
Yes.
There's interest with the Whitecaps and DC United.
Yeah, I would have taken Gary Hooper 3 seasons ago.
Yeah.
He lit it up with Celtic.
He's past his sell-by date. Is that
Well,
what
he's still banging the goals in the Championship.
I
but
think
I
in
just
MLS,
don't feel he's...
I think in MLS he might be able to do
possibly. He did well at Celtic. I loved when he was at Celtic. He was an awesome player there.
Maybe it could be a poor man's Johnny Russell.
Maybe he'll be my go-to guy.
He's not a winger, is he?
He's more a striker,
Yeah,
but you can
yeah.
probably play him out in the wing.
Does he know they're playing on turf, though?
Does he know what turf is?
Any other things?
David Norman came back. There was an
he
article.
did a good article in the Province from J.J.
A
Adams.
friend of the show.
Yes.
He at least listened to one episode, I know that. But it seems like that David Norman is coming back for good. He's not going back to Scotland at all.
You take that. Is he back? Is he back? I want you back for good. Take that, not another band that made it over here, I'm guessing, with the looks in your faces.
Yeah.
I learned so much about bands. Like, we played Suggs last week in Madness. I didn't know Madness had only had one hit in their 40 years over here. Got them coming up again soon. Because of that very fact. Need to educate our public. But, yeah, no new signings. Marc Dos Santos did touch a little bit on that. So before we say any more, let's just play a little bit from MDS just about that just now.
The fans have to trust that the Vancouver Whitecaps are working very hard to make things happen, things that we can't announce right now, but we're working very hard. So the fans just have to trust in the process. A lot of business to do, but what I know, what's happening is you don't know, right? And it's not a bad way. It's normal because everything announced is going to be announced in the right moment. Today I feel good in the state where we are. Of course, there's some positions that we need to be careful about filling, just to be smart on when's the best window to fill certain positions. Is it January or June? And others were moving forward and moving well. So hopefully we'll be able to close the final deals and be ready to announce some players very, very soon.
Are you scouting? Are you visiting teams and players before?
I haven't been home. So, yeah, I want to go home. You know, I've been in a plane for the past 30 days. So not only me, the staff, we're working, we're scouting. It's not only scouting. There's a huge set of negotiations. There's clubs. The good players belong to clubs, so you don't get them out of their clubs like this. There's a full dynamic of this is not Championship Manager that I've played a lot in computer that you just go get the players. It's much more than that.
It's more difficult than Championship.
I want to talk to Marc Dos Santos now about Championship
Football
Manager. Yeah, because I used to play it. I know
It was easy on FIFA.
Yeah, I think we should have a little competition with Mark, and we should have a little football manager.
Okay, we need to
going
get Chris Harrop in. You know, Chris Harrop. Listen, yeah, he plays.
Awesome.
Joe
He
DC plays too.
He talks about it a lot.
This could be something for pulled off at half time. I've got some cracking things coming up for that.
We could do play-by-play of a
Yes.
championship game,
That would be fun.
football manager game.
But yeah, as MDS said there, no signings. There's been a lot of folks saying, why have the Whitecaps not signed anyone yet? Now, this falls down to a number of different reasons. There are some things in the work. They cannot announce it yet. Some of it is because February 7th is when the MLS international transfer window opens.
Actually opens, yeah.
Yep.
People can actually officially come in.
And because they're not the first choice for the players.
Well, that's another one as well, because there's some players keeping their options open
until the window
until the European window closes, and then it's like, well, we haven't got what we're wanting. Okay, we'll go to MLS.
Yeah.
In some regards, from the player's point of view, I see that. It's maybe this is not the league of choice. Maybe Vancouver is not your destination of choice, ideally. But at the same time, you do want a player that really wants to be here and isn't taking that as maybe your second choice. But
it's going to be a lot of leftovers
Yeah.
for the Whitecaps.
But I don't see it like I see it as it could be a positive too that they are looking to get the best player.
yes,
And obviously we all know that Europe is where players want to play because that is the pinnacle
Yeah.
of the thing. So I don't see it as a negative that it's a second choice for
no,
somebody.
I don't either necessarily.
No, I don't disagree with you, Steve. But like we were talking about before the show, you and I, like it would be nice to see them actually, like, for lack of a better term, woo someone. Like whether it's in they're negotiating the amount they want to pay them, whatever that makes them feel wanted. That says, yeah, like I really want to be there. Like,
But
because of all, not just because of the money.
I
but
feel some
because of a whole
players
bunch
would
of-
take less money to play in Europe than actually come here. So I don't know if money is even going to make a difference for some players.
Also, some players just want to be wanted
yeah.
and felt like they're cared for and going to be valued.
Who doesn't? I do. I mean, what would make us feel wanted by the Whitecaps? Flights to Hawaii for
I
their
think so.
pre-season?
At least
would make me feel wanted.
At least to Vegas if they're going to.
I mean, we are the only soccer show
Vegas.
on Vancouver radio.
Enjoy Hawaii if you go, Michael.
You wouldn't come?
No.
I'd go.
Yeah. We can...
I'll be the producer. You pull off people at halftime.
Sounds great. I also have a plan for Pulled Off at Halftime of doing the Dying Fly. The Dying Fly, do you know what that is?
No.
Do I want to know?
Okay, I'll show you.
Oh, no. Don't hurt yourself like last time.
I think I've seen something like this.
Wait, what is this?
I think I know what he's talking about. This is a comedy sketch or something like that. Right?
Right, The Dying Fly was on a TV show in the 70s in the UK, children's TV.
Are you
called
okay?
Tiswas.
Yeah,
Are you okay?
It
I'm a bit hot.
was a comedy, like a
Yeah.
little like skit.
I spent half an hour trying to explain this to Caitlin tonight because I was doing it on the ground
I think
daily.
I think I've
and
seen
she's
that.
like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "The Dying Fly." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, "The Dying Fly."
They based the Bumblebee character from The Simpsons on that. I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Out of 365 days, how many days in a year does Caitlin say something like, "What are you doing? I don't understand," or "What did you
Every
say?"
single day it feels like. But I have decided we're going to make this part of our YouTube video show. When we're doing video interviews with players, at the end of it, we'll get them to do the Dying Fly. Now, we might not get to do that with
I'm
the Whitecaps
expecting like a
players.
3% success rate there on getting them to do
That sounds high, Steve.
I know.
TSS Rovers players will get to do it with.
I want to give Michael some hope.
Yeah, Whitecaps, I'm not sure. We'll get Nathan to do it first. Mr. Whitecaps. We'll get him to do the Dying Fly. TSS Rovers, I'll get to do it because when I said to Colin last year, there's some things I want to do with the players. I'm not sure if they'll want to do it. And he's like, doesn't matter if they want to. You tell me who you want, they'll be doing it. So there we go. They will be doing the Dying Fly on our new video show. But anyway, back to Marc Dos Santos and transfer signings.
right.
I do also believe that there are some players that are signed, but they can't announce it yet because the clubs haven't got replacements. So they're waiting for the clubs to get their replacements before...
And remember, they do have. I have a feeling they would trade their first round pick next year for a player.
Oh, probably.
So they do have that kind of thing happening where they can pick up like some of these other MLS teams are going to be signing players. They'll have extra players on their roster and they need to unload them. and they could find a really good deal on somebody too.
Well, you can also pre-sign guys for the summer window now.
Yes.
And it does sound, I mean, he said in the snippets there that it's like, will it be January? Will it be June?
Yeah.
I think there's still an option that they loan some players in for 6 months, and then
I can't see that at all. You don't get 6-month loans in MLS.
you would get it from outside MLS.
Was it Mista?
Like why? Like we just loaned David Norman for 3 months.
Yeah,
What are you
but
talking
guys
about?
coming in, like the Whitecaps have never taken a 6-month
Well, the
loan.
Whitecaps, but other teams, and this is a new era, like you said.
Name one other MLS team that's had,
Era.
Was Mista
Ura?
a DP loan or just half-season signing maybe?
Mista was a signing half season.
Okay.
but I can't see anyone doing a 6-month loan.
Laurent Robert?
Why? If somebody doesn't really finding playing time in Europe and they want to be, they'll be free in the summer. Why not?
TFC brought Julio Cesar, the Brazil keeper, because he needed games for the World Cup.
because he was going to the World Cup.
That was like
Yeah,
4
that's
months,
true.
wasn't it? It was a 4-month loan.
I will eat your beard if that happens.
I will deny you from doing that.
Save that for the video show.
But let me find out. Is it a new era or era?
Era. Undisputed era. You watch the wrestling NXT, you should know.
Hey, what happened
Era.
with the Korean guy?
Era. The
Era.
commentator says era.
What happened with
That's because he's English.
Oh.
The other one that says era.
There we go.
what
then.
happened with the Korean player?
Well, again, according to Glass City on Twitter, it looks like it's fallen through, but I don't know.
So with AFTN travel, you're not tracking Greg's travel?
Well, he's going to China to pick up your
Right.
present.
I think he found the tracker on him. He probably destroyed it.
Yeah. Training camp gets underway a week on Monday if you're listening to this, so that's going to be the 21st of January, depending when you are listening to this. But some players have been here training at the training facility, but not with coaches, because under the CBA you're not allowed to do that, I believe.
Yep.
You just
a
have to
strict
train on
rule.
your own.
Yeah.
I think
And MDS, like you said, he's been on a plane, so he hasn't even for the last 30 days. So
Yeah.
he wouldn't be over here anyway. So
and a player that was training here, Kai Kamara, has been training this week and
With them or?
at the facility. Anyway, I don't know if he was
Not
actually
against
with
them.
He'll be,
It was
he'll be
Connor
against them
versus
soon
whoever
enough.
was there.
It's amazing who you meet at VMSL matches.
Ah, there you go.
This guy came over and he was introduced to me and he said, "Oh, tell me what your name is." And he's like, "Bobson, because I'm Bob's son." I'm like, "Okay." And he's, I think,
Yeah, I know him. Yeah, I know
he's
him.
like, where do you think he's from? I was like, I've no idea. And he's
Sierra
like,
Leone.
Freetown, Sierra Leone. I went, "Oh, do you know Kai?" I said, "I've known him since he was a little guy." He's like, "He's staying at my house just now."
Yeah.
So he flew out today. So he's been packing his stuff up.
He's
so,
in Vegas or something now, I think.
Yeah, if I'd met him just before, I could have got a little interview going with him. But unfortunately, but Bobson's a great guy. If
He
you ever
is.
meet him, he's a coach with CCB
Yeah.
at the moment. Great guy.
I think if he's the guy I remember, he's the guy who would be at every game with the flag, and he would be down after hanging out waiting for Kai in the lower bowl.
Yeah. It would have means, of course, if all the players are back, Effie Juarez and Russell Tybert will have been back sharing a locker room for the first time.
Yeah, I'd love to know how that.
Are you sure that they're all back?
I don't know if they're all back, but I've heard that players are
Effie's
training
definitely
on.
back.
But he's in training
I don't know.
because it doesn't seem like he was in training last year, the whole year.
Everyone's waiting for
Steve.
Effie's buyout, but some stuff came out this week. Our journalist, our good friend Harjeet Johal, said that there wasn't going to be a buyout. I heard a little bit about it.
How did people react to that?
Not
Poorly.
great. I'm not sure how they're going to react to this as well, in that I've been told he's been given a 1-year contract extension.
Offered
Offered a 1-year contract extension.
At a lower rate?
much lower,
Much lower rate.
Much lower.
He's on a much lower rate, I believe, this year. I think he's only going to be on about 300,000. And I think that this contract extension is just like 75 or 80,000.
So it's not a contract. It's basically a contract renegotiation.
Yes.
Attempt.
I don't know if this is a way to have added value for selling him to another team or to make him think I'm not valued here, I should go and find another team. But interesting.
The thing from the Whitecaps perspective is it would be foolishness to buy him out now. I
Oh,
think we talked-
totally.
March
Absolutely.
1st is when you buy him out.
Yeah. Or keep him.
Yeah,
And
I
then
don't think
just-
so.
Oh, the looks I just got there.
No, I don't.
You don't even want that.
I like talking to him.
Oh no, I like Effie. I like Effie as a dude.
I would keep him here just to
oh.
talk to him.
I've heard very positive things about Effie as a teammate and helping young players and all that kind of positive stuff. Yeah, I thought his performance on the pitch last year, I don't think was where he would have wanted it to be.
Teething. You can bounce back from that. Anyway, we'll be back with some more after this.
Hi, I'm Marc Dos Santos, and you're listening to the AFTN Soccer Show.
I wasn't there. Don't blame me, it just isn't fair. You listen to their side, now listen to mine. Can't think of a story, sure you'll find me sometime. Now pass the blame and don't blame me. Just close your eyes and count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Then I'll be gone and you'll forget broken window TV set.
Madness there with Shut Up, a song I believe is on a loop in the Whitecaps front office. A wag would say the lyrics of that song were very about the Whitecaps front office, but I would not say such a thing. You probably would, Zach.
Oh, Michael, I don't think I've heard you play a song that I appreciated so much in a while. That was hilarious.
Well, that was by Madness. They have a song called Embarrassment as well, so maybe I'll play that one next week. What I've decided to do, after learning that Madness are not known here, I've decided... Now, Steve is going to like this. I kind of alluded to this in our New Year's show, but Steve doesn't listen to the shows. I've dropped Mad Hat McGower because Steve
Forever?
didn't... No, he's coming back,
Oh.
but Steve didn't like him.
No, I didn't. I didn't.
You said everything sounded the same.
It did.
My wife said the same thing. You're not going to enjoy Wavelength either. It's not Mad Hat McGower, but usually if my wife hates something, you don't like it. So,
She's got good taste.
yeah. Both hate me.
There's a joke in there to be had, but I'm going to leave that one alone.
So I'm going to have an artist of the month, and this month is going to be Madness. So that was Shut Up.
Isn't this supposed to be Football Violence Awareness Month, or is that February?
February.
Oh, that's for Wavelength.
Oh, that's for
Yeah, this is just for our coming back from the shows.
The thing is, the thing that amazes me is that you think that just because something is hot in England or Scotland that it's supposed to be like automatically everybody knows about it here.
I thought you would
That's
have.
shocking to me.
Yeah,
That always shocks me. That surprises me that you are surprised about it.
Yeah, because I thought Canada was just so
No.
Anglophile, basically, in that whatever we did there.
Maybe the people
you
you
show
hang
Coronation Street here.
Yeah, but nobody watches it.
Oh, Har does. She loves it. She goes to and sees them.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. I've never seen a full episode of that.
It's not very good.
No.
But anyway, something that is
Now,
good is the
EastEnders.
AFTN. Oh, EastEnders is crap. Something that is good, though, is the AFTN Soccer Show on CITR Radio, 101.9 FM.
The one thing I'll say, the only thing better than the AFTN show is the discussions at the break.
Oh, we have some great discussions. This is why we don't video these shows.
Yeah.
The stories we tell. Some of them eventually make it onto the show.
Yeah. Or into the public.
Yeah, into the newspapers.
Some of them you just can't keep the print off them.
Sometimes. But we've got some more Whitecaps chat. Believe it or not, our Whitecaps chat has spilled into part 2. I think part of that is we spent 10 minutes opening presents and talking about crap. But that aside.
Hey, crap. What?
Well, it wasn't Whitecaps.
It's
If
the
it's
Allianz
not
Arena.
Whitecaps, it's crap.
No, but hey, if they sell the Steve's jerseys at their shop, it's Whitecaps.
Oh, that's true, yeah. I like how also the box of your print says Germany Munich Football Stadium, which when I opened it, I was like, oh, wait a minute, is this not Bayern Stadium? But it is.
Good.
I think that is actually possibly a knockoff of the original version that definitely had Bayern Alliance Stadium on it.
That's okay.
The one that I ordered. Also, it turned out yours didn't come from China. It
Yeah.
came from Mississauga.
Oh.
That's why it arrived so
It's
quick.
from China originally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, most things are these days. Greg Anderson will probably bring a few things back when he goes to chase up our other presents. But anyway, back to Whitecaps chat. The schedule came out this week. Hooray!
Yay.
Steve has been breaking it down
I broke it down on that day.
more than a Degeneration X introduction.
Is that
Gotcha.
Is that wrestling?
Yeah.
Oh, other big news this week. AEW officially launched. Great rally in Jacksonville. You like rallies? You're German, Zach.
My goodness.
Anyway, the schedule. What did you guys make of it? It
Obviously,
wasn't bad.
it wasn't that many midweek games like Zach was saying. It was, I think, 6 were from MLS. 6 midweek games, 2 at home.
You're talking about just for the Whitecaps?
Yeah, just for the Whitecaps. I don't care about it.
But midweek, you're not including Friday?
No, I don't collect Friday. That's a
Anyone
weekend.
else?
Yeah, I think there's only 2 home Wednesday games.
Two home, and they're both top teams, LAFC and Atlanta.
That's in the league play.
Yeah,
because there'll be
tons of there. Yeah, so essentially, March starts off with 2 home, 2 away. With the 2 aways sandwich. There's an international break in there too.
Yeah, that's the traditional. Home for week 1, away for the next 2, and then home for the last one.
There's 5 in April, 5 games, 3 home, 2 away. And there's like the midweek, one of the first midweek games of that month.
And the Sounders is one of the teams that's coming in March.
Yeah, and the end of the
on a
month.
Friday.
Yeah, didn't like that, but at least the 2 away games are Saturdays for us, so that's good.
May is first busy month. They have 7 games in May, including a stretch where 4 at home, 3 on the road, 2 midweek games that month. 15 days they're going to be playing 5 games. That's the longest stretch in that month.
Yeah.
And it gets worse, actually, too. June, there'll be the biggest break they have. It's good. Maybe that's when they get the transfers in.
Oh, they go over 3 weeks. They go from Friday the 31st of May until
22nd.
Saturday the 22nd of June. Yeah.
And that's when they play Colorado with a Dallas away midweek game, then back to Seattle.
The return of Kai Kamara, Nico Mosqueda, and
Yes.
Declan. Oh, Declan already been back.
Yeah.
July. Now, this is the one where it gets really busy. They're playing basically 7 games, all within 21 days.
Yes.
Because the first 2 legs of the Canadian Championship, which we'll talk about in a separate time.
Yeah, which I missed off the rundown, but we'll come to that maybe later.
And then August, you got 8 games, 2 stretches, 5 games in 14 days, and then 3 games in 7 days. So they'll have a busy month there. Originally, it wasn't going to be that busy. Of course, 2 of those games are if they advance that through that round of qualification. September, 5 games if they make the MLS, the Canadian Championship final. They'll have 5 games, and they'll all be kind of in a broken in there. And then obviously October is only the 1 game on the Sunday, the final day against RSL.
So you're predicting no playoffs?
Well, I don't know. But basically, so 21 games on Saturday, 11 home, 10 away. Friday, there's 5 games, 3 home, 2 away. 6 Wednesdays, 2 home, 4 away, and 2 Sundays, which is 1 each. So it's not as bad, but obviously the Canadian Championship will make the summer quite busy, especially if they keep advancing.
How are you feeling about the Colorado game being after like a 3-week break?
I'm assuming they're going to lose that one because they come completely flat, unless Dos Santos has them raring to go.
It's a new era, Steve. Yeah. I would say
it's also a new era.
We invented the language. I just say it the way that it is.
I don't think the Scots invented it.
Yeah, you say we the English?
You don't think we invented anything? We built your country and invaded your other one.
Again, I'm surprised you're taking it with the English now, after wanting to break free from them.
But how do you feel about the season possibly being over the first week of October? That'll be a very long off season. More time for us to play games on the show.
A great Thanksgiving.
We'll have a Halloween special. We can do
yeah.
I'm more interested to see now this is the CPL schedule. That's why I'm more excited.
I'm waiting for that as well to possibly book some trips.
Some of their rosters look similar to the Whitecaps. So.
Well, we'll have some CPL news later in the show. I love fixture day, schedule day.
Oh, right.
It's always like, even when I was back in Scotland, it was like one of my most magical days of the year in the football calendar.
Should I sit down for this?
I would sit down for this. So one of the Christmas presents that I got my wife to buy for me was a couple of books by an author called Daniel Gray. One's called Saturday 3 p.m, 50 Eternal Delights of Modern Football. Basically, it's 50 sort of mini essays just about various facets of football. So I'll read all 50 of them to you just now. It's only like a couple of 100-page book, so we'll get through this pretty quick. But what I actually want to read is just a snippet from his book, which is all about the fixture list coming out. So bear with me, put your nightcaps on. Story time with Michael McCall, baby, for the wrestling fans. So this is called Getting the Fixture List by Daniel Gray. The 30 days of June and the 31 of July. In an odd year they drag. Time is gloopy. Summer is about staging posts. Players are freed and loanees go home. news of the pitch being reseeded or season ticket numbers being up, early transfer rumours, pre-season friendlies announced, then, just before new signings, the return to training and remembering how beige pre-season friendlies are. Then it arrives, Fixtures Day. To some of us, it's as significant as 100 sainted bank holidays or anniversaries. In dark summers, the new fixture list is also a lasso, cast a war's golden August, snaring it closer. Our partners for that summertime dance matter to an extent that they wouldn't at any other time of the season. Who have you got first? We're able to plot far beyond that day too. The fixture list is a map allowing us to see where we will be in 5 or 8 months, perhaps even what mood we will be in at a specific time of day in February. As we peruse the menu of the 9 months ahead, we will pick out certain defeats and tally up points totals. It may even be possible to identify the exact April fixture at which promotion will be squandered. There will be matches to look out for, birthday and Christmas fixtures, derby ties, fancied away trips, and the panic-inducing realisation that a cousin's wedding clashes with a home game. Obviously you missed the wedding. The list is full of innocence and it's blank slate now. There is anticipation in imagining it later, daubed in plot and detail. Though probably first seen on a phone or computer screen, the fixtures only really come when read in the paper. Home games are bold, as if they matter more, away ones emaciated. Opposition names are evocative. Reading them in one go twice over is rhythmic, like listening to a poem about disappeared rural railway stations. There are surprise names that can strike up warm sentimentality. A long-forgotten old flame of a team returned to your division via unlikely promotion. These fixtures are delectable when first released, and then, all over again as they appear in different forms, the grid with teams on the X and Y axis and dates in tiny boxes, the official card picked up in the club shop, the statistics pages of the programme. Everything is brand new, always forgiven, and names on a list represent what is possible. The release of fixtures is a reassurance that yes, football is coming back, and life will begin again. So that's from Daniel Gray's Saturday 3pm. Can't recommend this book enough, and his follow-up as well. Check them out. You can get it sent over here pretty cheap, amazon.co.uk, or a website called Books Etc. Cheap books, cheap postage, check that out. I just love Fixtures Day. It fills you with so much hope. Everything, like hope springs eternal because you're looking at it and everyone's level. Then it all kind of goes to shit as the season starts.
Can I read something?
Of course.
It's a little less profound. It's a tweet from the aforementioned Jeb Borofsky.
Oh.
My 3-year-old son. Daddy, I want my watch to go slow. Me. What do you mean? 3-year-old. I don't want to get old like you yet. Profound, yet hurtful, my son. Hashtag dad life.
Steve, do you want to read anything in this Poets Corner part of AFTN?
I'm good.
Okay. So something else Whitecaps related that kind of came out on Twitter was the new home kit was leaked by Glass City. Pretty sure most folk will have seen it. Just showing it up to everyone that's listening at home now. What did you think of it? I liked it. You've seen it already, Zach.
No, I haven't.
Oh, you hadn't?
No,
okay. I know a lot of the supporters had seen it last year.
Yeah, but a bunch of our dudes have seen it. Or people have seen it.
I really liked it.
Yeah, it was nice. Glad it came to what we were expecting and what we were hoping.
Yes.
The hoop is there. Maybe that's why Hooper is coming in.
It's perfect marketing if they sign Hooper for the hoop. You don't think so?
No, there you go.
I genuinely do like it. I will probably buy it. It is spoiled by having Bell on it, but there's no way around that, really.
No, not anymore.
No.
Well, not until they get the end sponsorship on their shoulder.
I'm pretty sure the Whitecaps are pissed beyond belief that this has been leaked.
It gets leaked every year.
Yeah. Kind of does spoil their big release day.
But every year it's been... Remember that one time when somebody bought a kid's version of the Arbutus?
I remember that well.
Yes.
Yeah, and they posted it, and then I think they deleted it, even though it was already out there at that point.
Leaks happen. It's modern day football. Not a lot you can do about it.
Or is there any chance in your mind you think
that's not the real kit?
No, well, that or that they are okay that the things got leaked in the way they did?
Not from what I've heard.
Oh, okay. But, yeah. Good old Glass City.
Yeah. Yeah, he's done well, and it's good to see. And it's good, like, in all sincerity, I love that the Caps are honouring this 40th anniversary of the 79 Super Bowl win.
Right. Yeah, I mean...
Soccer Bowl, I thought it was.
What do I call it? Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
It's the Super Bowl to
Yeah,
me.
I there's the argument that they should have made the hoop their identity, kind of like who they are.
Oh,
and
yeah. I mean, that's a whole different argument.
I think that's a better argument, but it's nice that they're doing... I mean, they did... Arbutus technically had a hoop-ish.
It did, yes.
And the inaugural kit had the line, whatever.
Yeah.
But I do not like the whole August 31st game against... NYC,
New York Cosmos.
Against City Light, and like it's just so awkward because one, you didn't beat them in the Soccer Bowl,
No.
right? And so and the New York
But
Cosmos.
Tampa Bay is not in our league.
Yeah.
No, but the New York Cosmos still exist. And they're only
True.
not in MLS because MLS doesn't want them, so they're bringing another New York team.
Yeah, I
so
get
if
that.
you wanted to make it more real, why wouldn't you bring in one of the Florida
think-
teams?
I think you're just you're looking too far into this.
What,
It just feels like such a stretch, doesn't it?
Nah,
we have
I'm
some
not
big
bothered by it at all.
I'm not bothered by it.
It just seems like you're bothered by it.
It just seems awkward.
we have some big stuff that we're going to do around this for the whole
Around-
season as
around
well.
the season,
yeah.
okay.
I haven't told you guys yet. I'm going to tell you at one of the breaks. Part of it will be in this show. Part of it will be pulled off at halftime. Our new video show that we're doing on YouTube. Zach still thinks this isn't real, but it is. I've got some guys lined up for it. And
So
everything.
Zach's just not sure he can be on a show called Pull Off at Halftime
Why not?
with Michael McCall and Steve Vander.
Are you any objections to being pulled off at halftime, Steve?
I'm in.
Who wouldn't be?
Oh man,
We're all in.
What did you say?
We're all in. Tell you, other folk that are all in. MLS Super Draft picks. Awkward segue, but we had to get to this because we're running out of time in
you
this
can't
part
really,
of the show.
Yeah, you can't really say they're all in.
No.
Yeah, they're literally.
Well, they're hoping to be all in. We'll see.
But
So it was the draft on Friday.
it was a good day for Canadians.
Yeah, I turned down a shift at work to watch it.
I
Are
don't
you
know why you
serious?
would do that.
I have no idea
It's like
afterwards.
throwing money in the wind.
Yeah, it basically was.
Considering I told you I would watch it and cover it or whatever you
Yeah.
wanted.
Well, I
You
I
really-
had hopes
I
that
think
we
you
were going to
switched it-
move up and go for somebody.
No.
And then before the draft started, I found out that was highly, highly unlikely.
I was at an appointment. I was like, oh yeah, the draft is going
Yeah.
on.
So let's get to the Canadians that were drafted.
Yeah, it was
early.
a surprisingly
Three of them
good
in the-
draft for Canadians.
3 in the top 10.
Yes.
Callum Montgomery went number 4
Yep,
to
we
Dallas
talked about him last week a bit.
from Victoria. You got Dane Sinclair to Minnesota at number 7.
Yeah, you were talking about him last week.
And then the Revolution took Buchanan, Tayon Buchanan. I believe he was 11th? No, 9th.
Ninth, yeah.
9th,
He was tipped to go higher. Some folk even had him as going
Oh, no.
number 1 to Cincinnati.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people a lot of people talking and making stuff up in order to have
Yeah.
people slip down. And so
What spot did he go? 11th?
9th.
9th, because he's 19 years old. That kid,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Callum Montgomery is the BC guy. And in some ways, it is a little bit sad to see a BC boy not being with the Whitecaps, not even being with a Canadian team in some regards.
I heard somewhere. Did they just like not rate him enough to be in the academy or something? They rejected him.
He described
at a young
himself
age?
as a late bloomer.
Late bloomer.
Actually, before we talk any more about Callum Montgomery, let's just hear a little bit from him just now. This is one of the interviews he did after the draft with the guys from Dallas.
Callum, number 4 overall pick. Before we get into who you are and what you are as a player, what's that moment like as someone who's grown up playing this game?
You know, you're sitting there in your seat and it's so nervous, and then you hear your name called and your heart just drops, and it was an unbelievable moment. You know, I'm just so excited to be chosen by FC Dallas and so grateful for the situation I'm in and the opportunity, and I can't wait to get down there.
You mentioned in some of your previous interviews that you grew up in Victoria, but you self-described as a late bloomer, not really getting into the Whitecaps residency program. What led you to this path here today, going to Charlotte and really becoming a professional?
Yeah, so I was part of the Victoria Highlanders Academy, and there I really met Steve Simonson. He was my first soccer mentor, I'd say, in my life, and really took my game to another level at that time. And he's still a friend, a mentor to me, someone I can go to at times and talk to about life. And I knew that I wanted to go down to the NCAA, get that experience of going to a bigger American school. Canadian soccer, university-wise, is getting bigger every year, but it's still, they don't have the money that the NCAA is, and it doesn't have the pathway to lead to a professional contract or club like the NCAA does. So I started looking really late. I didn't have any offers, and then ended up Charlotte was one of the only schools that reached out, was interested, went to an ID camp, and this was halfway through my senior year late, and they took me and took a chance on me probably, and Kevin Lang was an unbelievable coach. He was a center back himself, so took me under his wing and really put me in that position. I didn't play center back before I got to college. I was a center midfield, so when I got down there, he really took me out and just showed me the position. I'm so grateful for all those coaches at Charlotte because they've done unbelievable things with me.
The FC Dallas coaching staff was very high on you. They liked you from the Combine. You mentioned you had a good interview with them at the Combine. What was that? What was said in the room? What did they tell you about Dallas and what you could potentially bring to this club?
Mm-hmm. I think the interview went awesome. They asked really good questions. I think it was more of a conversation. It wasn't just an interview and answering. We had a good dialect. We talked about the development of players. We talked about some of the senior pros who I could come in and learn under. And I think the biggest thing for me is that I'm the type of guy who comes in every single day and I want to work. I want to work hard. I wake up, I set my goals, and I'm ambitious in trying to achieve my goals. And that's in all aspects of my life. If I set my mind to something, I want to give 100% in that aspect. So I'm super excited to get down there and just every single day focus on what can I do today to get better and, hopefully contribute to this team's success and the team's goals.
Callum Montgomery there talking to the FC Dallas guys after the draft, and he's got a good team. He's got a team that has brought on young guys from their academy.
But Poppy is gone.
Yeah, but I still think they're going to have that ethos.
Well, they mentioned that he would be on the draft show. They mentioned he would be like 4th or 5th in the roster for the center backs on the depth chart. That's what I meant to say, on the depth chart. But they've also mentioned that people they've drafted before, like Matt Hedges and George John, they always drafted them, and then they were always lower on the depth chart, and then eventually they would move up, and that's what they normally do because they know that center backs are going to eventually move on. They don't want to pay center backs that much.
Yeah. I mean, I said last week I didn't rate him from what I saw in the PDL. He was named the Lakeside Boys Player of the Year for 2 seasons running. Against TSS Rovers, when I saw him play that, he didn't stand out. But he has had a good college career.
Yeah, and the thing is, if he's a guy who's going through the draft, he's not going to be putting all-out effort at PDL. He's going to be doing that at the college level because that's where the scouts are watching.
Yeah.
So you're saying he was taking it easy?
It's the summer months. He's probably just trying to keep fit, and he doesn't want to go injure himself or put an injury out there.
Because when you're a late bloomer, you don't want any of your petals to fall off.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, the great news about the draft was the 46th pick. San Jose Earthquakes, Mamadi Kamara from SFU. He's heading to California. Really pleased from him. Watched Mamadi from when he first went to SFU. Spent a season with TSS. He's a great kid. Alan Koch actually had him in a summer training camp with WFC2. So the Whitecaps, it was more as a favour to Clint Schneider, but they were keeping an eye on him. They had a very quick chat on Twitter with Mamadi, and hopefully we'll get him on the show soon and do a proper chat with him. But he's super stoked and really pleased. He's put a lot of hard work in the last 2 years to get to where he is. Still a long road ahead. San Jose, though, at least have a USL team. They're
What's that?
affiliated with Reno. So it's not their own team, but they are affiliated with Reno. So there's a good chance.
How did they do against Fresno last year?
It was a big derby.
In the ending in O Derby.
Yeah, big derby.
I thought you were going to say your favorite thing about the draft was the Philadelphia Union.
Oh, yes. That was another favourite bit of mine.
The first ones to fully just walk in, flip the table over, drop the mic, and walk out.
But they still had to turn up and draft.
Yeah. Did you tell me about that, or did you tweet about that?
I didn't know. I told Steve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they showed up, and then Jonathan Tannewald tweeted out a picture of the GM leaving in the middle of the first round or something like that.
Well, did someone say the league made them show up?
Yeah,
they weren't going to come.
Yeah.
And
I
league was
remember
gonna find
LA
them?
not turning up one year and they're having an empty table because they didn't have any draft picks and they didn't bother.
Oh.
And another team that didn't really give much of a toss about the draft was Chicago, and they were hosting it, just trading their picks away.
No, they traded down once, and then they traded out of the first pick overall.
Yeah.
The thing is, they traded their first pick for $50,000, and the next pick went for $100,000. So they even sold lower than they should have gone.
Cincinnati did superb.
Yeah.
They
don't
made all
have
the
an
trades to
academy.
get the picks. Yeah, so they've no academy. So they made all the picks to get those, and then they sold some of them, and
they have
no
academy. But the one thing that made sense about them buying these 5 picks from Philadelphia was they have Alan Koch, who spent years in the American college system through SFU and knows people, and so he's connected. So
I thought he was going to take Mamadi Kamara, but not in the first 2 rounds. I thought he would maybe have taken him 3rd or 4th as a little nod to SFU. Obviously, someone's got in ahead of him, so I'm wondering if it's because they knew someone was going to probably take him. I even thought the Whitecaps might take them in the 3rd or the 4th rounds, which are on Monday. That's going to be exciting. Not filmed. So we don't have a pick in the 3rd round, actually. We've only got a pick in the 4th. 83rd, I think it is overall. It's going to be quality.
I think it'll be, I can predict the player, it'll be Pass.
Oh, yeah. That's that Brazilian guy. One name. Pass.
How many teams passed?
No one's passed yet.
RSL
it's in
used
the
to
3rd and the 4th.
No,
RSL used to pass all the time.
Not in the second
LA
round.
used to pass a lot as well.
Not in the second round. Not in the second round.
Cincinnati had offers for the number 1 pick, and they were offered, I think, 200,000 for it, and then
an international spot.
And an international spot. And Alan Koch is like, "Oh, give us 500,000 for it," and LAFC were like, "No." But it's like, good on Alan Koch. It's like, yeah, this is our moment. You want to take our moment, you give us $500,000.
Oh, they should have just sold it for 2, because that's what they paid to Philly for the 5. Yeah.
But they wanted this guy because he's an asset. He probably won't even play for Cincinnati. He's like an under-20 international. They'll sell him.
Eventually, he could be sold to a Mexican team or something like that, or out Europe.
So, I mean, they've done well. Alan Koch did really well.
The Canadian guy who you just talked to there, or just had on, he's the one, like, is he like not like the one or the only player who, like, people were saying, yeah, he's like MLS ready?
Well, they did.
They said he's the most MLS ready.
Or most MLS ready.
Essentially,
I would disagree with that. But
they were very honest that they said that none of these guys are going to be starters in their first 2 or 3 years. They said that. They go, these are prospects that are late bloomers that didn't go through regular MLS academies.
They should rename it the USL/affiliate draft.
Because it is true what I don't know who said it, but not every state has an MLS team, and you don't have academies there.
Yeah, I think Taylor Twellman said that on the broadcast. There's 50 states. There's no pro teams. Like, even down to USL level, there's not pro teams in all 50 states. Even every pro team does not have an academy.
Yeah, and like we've said before, there are late bloomers.
Yeah,
that could be.
Luca Toni was a late bloomer.
Yeah, and Chris Wondolowski was. Look, he was a 4th round pick, and look, he's going to be passing Landon Donovan soon.
Do you feel the draft is in its death throes?
No.
Well, it depends on what you mean, because it already, to me, feels somewhat irrelevant.
I don't think they need to have the 3rd and 4th rounds. That seems
overkill. They might as well allow players to find their own teams.
But the problem is, this is the structure, right? Like, that's why, like, you're putting a big dent in part of the whole American structure of football.
I think they can do something that's actually more drastic, and they stop teams from trading their 1st round pick 2 straight years. And make them make a pick, and then trade that pick if they want to later on, but they have to make a pick.
Yeah,
no one's going to like that, though, Steve. No one likes a league that forces teams to do things against their will.
Nobody does. It's like they don't let them sign players to certain amounts of money.
True. Friend of the show, Jonathan Tannenwald, at The Goalkeeper on Twitter.
He's listened to at least one episode, too.
He listens to
more than that.
I'm kidding, obviously.
He listens to the ones he's been on.
Doesn't throw back to J.J. Adams.
He had a chat with Marc Dos Santos, asking him what he thought about Philly trading the draft picks. And Dos Santos' quote to Jonathan was, I totally understand where they're coming from. Maybe this is the direction that the league is going to go in eventually. You see these academies growing, developing very good players that are trained for a much higher amount of hours compared to a college player. So to be honest, I understand where Philadelphia was going with this. I was going to try reading that in a French accent, but I thought that's maybe not...
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll do the next one in a French accent.
No, it's okay.
He also talked about... Well, he's been talking a lot about how high he is in the academy and how he wants to continue the work the Whitecaps have done, get the best coaches in there, bring these players on. Proof of the pudding will be in the pitch. Robbo talked so much about stuff like that, and we never saw the end results. Feels like it's going to be different under MDS, but we'll have to see on the
Well,
pitch.
at this point, it has to be because he's going to integrate a lot of players because he doesn't
he's
have
going
any.
to definitely
other-
have to, because that's the squad.
I think he will, especially. I would like to see him do it immediately because he does have a 3-year contract, if I'm not mistaken, or 4. I can't remember. But he's at the beginning of his contract, so this is the time where he can start integrating without worrying about getting fired, right? And if he can do that initially, then he can slowly build other players in and creep maybe 2 players in, and then next year those 2 players become even more minutes and so forth. So you got to do it slowly, but I would like to see it happen more often.
Now, Mamadi Kamara that we talked about was only the second ever SFU Clan player to go in the MLS Super Draft. Can you name who the first one was?
Say it again.
Mamadi Kamara is only the second
know who
SFU
it
Clan
was.
player that has gone in the MLS Super Draft. Who was the first?
Wait.
He was.
Wait, I know. I got it.
He was
I got
a
it.
winger too, right? I think.
No, I got it. Initials are JB.
Yes.
Yeah.
How could you get the initials and not have those?
No, I know the guy. I can see the guy. Hang on. Can I look it up?
I'll just tell you so
No,
we can get on
Yeah,
with the show.
we need to get on with the show.
The Whitecaps
Yeah, one
drafted
second.
him.
Yes. I know.
Jovan Blagojevich.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Jovi.
I was gonna say he's the name of the guy from Chicago, the politics, Blagojevich.
Oh, yeah. Or
You don't have to name first. If you got the last name, you would have won.
No, but I forgot the name. I just knew.
I always
it was,
liked how Andrew Dice Clay talked
the same
about him. He's
or
like,
similar.
Blagojevich. He made
that was
some.
like one of your more better voices you've ever done on the show.
He made some appearances for WFC2 and he was playing VMSL.
He's not playing football.
He went to Australia to train to be a surgeon. I think he's still down there.
Went to where?
Australia.
Oh, right. He's got married though. I think. Yeah.
Yep. But drafts definitely, I feel, still have a place. The CPL obviously had their college drafts, and the SFU Clan players aren't eligible for that right now. They might change things. So that was only the CIS guys, or U Sports as it is now. Turning our attention kind of to Canadian Premier League, we talked last week that Marcus Haber was going to be joining this week for Pacific FC. It became official.
You got it right.
Good for you,
Well, it came from a pretty good source.
Marcus Haber.
Related. But yeah, he's officially now. What's the nickname? Have they got a nickname? The Pacifics? The Ps? PFCs?
I thought it was the Seaman.
Oh, yes, the Salish Seaman. That was it.
He had a couple quotes there on his signing. I've been in the UK for 9 years. I've been in Scotland a while, and I just feel like my career was kind of becoming stagnant. I could have stayed in Scotland. I could have gone somewhere else in UK. I could have gone abroad, but my heart and soul is always in Canada. I feel like I've still got a lot left in my body, a lot left in my career. When the opportunity presented itself, it just felt right. It was an easy decision.
So, Steve, you know how sometimes we're talking about criticism that players get or whatever here in North America, and then Michael goes on about how, like, oh, that's nothing.
Yes.
I don't know if you.
Yes.
I assume you all read and heard some of the comments from some of the Scottish supporters.
The Falkirk and Dundee fans are not sad to see the back of Marcus Haber. Let's just say that.
I thought of you.
If whenever
It's brutal there.
No,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Whenever somebody leaves, they just hate them. It
We've
doesn't make
hated players that's played for us.
exactly. So
While they're playing.
I don't see it as a bad thing that they hated him because he probably that's a normal thing for Scottish supporters to do. They hate the players that leave.
Well, he was on loan to Falkirk, and they are struggling just now, so they're just needing some new players in because they're facing relegation. But it's been fairly quiet with Pacific FC. They've not added a few more guys, teasing that there's going to be some more this week, though.
Yeah.
But you met some people yesterday.
I did. Apart from meeting Bobson,
Yep.
this is why I say it's like go to VMSL games. Everyone's out.
Yeah, you buried the lead there.
Yeah. Who's more important than Bobson? Some folk might say Michael Silberbauer and James Merriman. They were at the game. They were doing some scouting. It was Reno's Tigers and CCB, LFC United. Plethora of Whitecaps residency talent was on the pitch. Caleb Clark scored one of the goals for CCB.
Superstar.
Victor Blasco, an assist and a goal. And Victor Blasco, may as well break this news as well, he is going to be signing for Pacific FC. Not immediately, he's hoping to finish the VMSL season and then get into their training camp. The two coaches, Michael and James, they wouldn't give too much away. They're being very cagey yesterday. I was like just putting names to them and trying to get any reaction from them, and they're like, oh, we'll see. And it was good chatting to them. It's the first time me meeting Michael, so we introduced ourselves. He won't forget my name, he said. I won't forget his, so that was good. But I'm very excited to see what they do, because these are two guys, they just love football, and we talked about the game that they were watching. They were impressed by the action there. They were impressed by a number of players, and there were a few players in the game yesterday that you could see making the move to Pacific. We talked last week about the likes of Ellie Guindo, the centre-back for Rena's Tigers. Caleb Clark, you have to feel, is going to get a shout. It looks like Pacific are going primarily for BC-born players.
Yeah.
So that opens the door to the likes of Ben McKendry to come home.
From Finland.
If he wants to.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised if he was one of their signings that's coming up as well. They said they're building their squad just now. The action's really going to ramp up when they get the full training underway. So from March 1st onwards, expect a lot of stuff coming out.
Where's Ben Fisk right now?
He's between clubs. He finished the Irish season. So Fiskey is definitely another one that they could possibly look at.
I think he'll be in the CPL somewhere.
Victor Blasco, I know he kind of left a little bit under a cloud from WFC2. He is a talent, and I know it's only VMSL, but he has been lighting it up with them this season. Plays for VIU Mariners and Pac West as well. But some of his touches, it's just sublime. He's just got that skill. And to get him back into a pro environment, I think that would be absolutely fantastic for him. So good luck to them all. The Polisi brothers as well play for Reno Tigers. Hope that we can maybe see both of them. Great bit of banter yesterday from the CCB bench, because Matteo Polisi is the guy that's been getting a lot of the attention. Was the GNAC Player of the Year, leading scorer for SFU. There's been a lot of talk about him going back into the pro game and stuff. And his brother, obviously Marcello, is a defensive midfielder, so maybe doesn't always get the same thing. So Marcello yesterday played this pass, and the CC bench yelled, "Great pass, way better than your brother." Local banter. Some other Canadian PL news, and this is massive. I don't know how it didn't actually get more attention. Elton John has now signed for a CPL team. Yeah, that is his official nickname, it would appear.
They'll be playing Candle in the Wind when he comes on.
We have to see, though, if he's still standing by the end of the year. I did tweet, and a few folk didn't like this tweet, but I did tweet that he can only play on a Friday or a Sunday, maybe even a Saturday afternoon. But if they have Saturday night games, he is in trouble because he likes fighting on a Saturday night.
Yeah. It's tragic.
Yeah, it is.
So people didn't like
most
that.
of my jokes.
Well, so he signed with Halifax Wanderers. There's 4 Trinidad and Tobago players there, which is not surprising because of Stephen Hart's obviously connection and work there, and his assistant coach I think 2 of his assistants are from there. So yeah, the biggest foreign influx.
Where's all the Canadians coming from? There's going to be a lot of UK guys, I think, in Halifax as well, because we talked about this before. Cape Breton Capers. There's a lot of UK players on that team, and I think you're going to see.
I think you said there's going to be lots of Scottish players because it's New Scotland, so let's get some Scottish guys.
I definitely want to get out there. I hope to hit up a couple of Pacific FC training sessions as well in March, get some interviews done.
Nice.
I really hope they maybe come and play some games in the Lower Mainland as well against some of the teams here, just to see what happens. Heard some murmurs of what pre-season may be for the league as a whole, but we'll cover that another time.
It'll be on an island somewhere.
Yeah, probably. But not Vancouver.
Oh, why not?
Bit cold.
A bit cold.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, we'll be back with some more after this.
Hi, I'm David Norman, and you're listening to the AFTN Soccer Show.
What a Mess was the name of the song there. What can you tell us about that song, Steve?
It's by an artist named Ellis.
Albert Ellis?
No, just Ellis.
He's going to Celtic, maybe.
No, it's not Celtics.
They were one of the teams that were interested.
What's the other team that came in for him?
It was
I think Fenerbahce.
Wasn't there a Portuguese team?
No, it was a Turkish.
It's Fenerbahce.
Oh, that's right.
Did you hear about that?
They're close to each other.
Did you hear about that though? Like supposedly he went on Honduran TV and said, yeah, like there's this club from Turkey is interested in me. I don't know if they've agreed terms or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I'm the transfer's all set up. I'm just waiting for the Dynamo to okay it. And then people ask the Dynamo, and they're like, yeah, we just heard about this through Honduran TV. We don't know anything about this.
Yeah, it looks like he pulled a Maddox.
Maddox / Kabila?
No,
he
it's
hasn't
more
appeared
like
in a jersey yet.
It's more of a Maddox, yeah.
Anyway,
But Maddox told the truth about the $1 million deal.
Yeah, but
he did.
Yeah, but it's still that's what
Perry
Maddox
Kitchen and Dwayne De Rosario.
Wow.
Could have had them.
I would have taken Perry Kitchen, 1-for-1 for Maddox.
Yeah.
I would just want it so I could play the Jonah Lewis song, You'll Always Find Me in the Kitchen at Parties.
That makes sense.
Anyway, you are listening to the AFTN Soccer Show on CITR Radio, 101.9 FM. Now, it's time for my favourite part of the show. It's wavelength time. And we're going back to an old favourite, at least of mine. Have a feeling both of you are going to hate it. Have a feeling most of our listeners might hate it as well.
I don't think so. I've listened to his stuff.
Do you like... I thought you didn't like him.
I did like him. I watched the movie too. It was really good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this is Frank Sidebottom. We're having a theme this month of songs about football teams. So we had Suggs Madness doing Blue Day for Chelsea last week. This is Frank Sidebottom with his Manchester City medley.
Right, thank you, boss. Here we go. Frank Sidebottom's Manchester City medley, starting like this. I love you, City, I do. I love you, City, I do. Oh, Tony Coleman. Ooh, Tony Coleman. 'Cause I'm living in a big wonderland. Oh yes, it's like watching Brazil. It's just like watching Brazil. Oh yes, it's just like watching Brazil. That team from South America. Here we go. Because in 66, Joe Mercer came and we went to Rotherham. And we won 1-0 actually. And then back we came into Division 1. Since then, we've won the league and we've won the cup. And we've been to Europe too. That's abroad. And when we win the league this year, we'll sing this song to you. Oh, Niall Quinn's disco pants are the best. They go up from his knees to his chest. They are better than Adam and the Ants. That's Niall Quinn's disco pants. Uwe Rosala, Uwe Rosala. And number 1 was Colin Bell. And number 2 was Colin Bell. And it goes on for ages. Number 3 and number 4 and number 5 and number 6 and number 7 and number 8, which is Colin Bell, and number 9. And then you all go together. Oh, we all live in a sky blue stadium. A sky blue stadium. A sky blue stadium. Blue moon, you saw me standing alone. Oh, I've got that Teddy feeling. I've got that Teddy feeling. A big fat banana and a big fat vest. A big fat banana and a big fat vest. Oh, I'm not really here. I'm not really here. Just like a fan of the Invisible Man. I'm not really here. Right, hold on. I've just got to adjust my keyboard for this one. That's it. Hold on. Here we go. Oh. Frank Clark, Saviour of the universe. Da, da, da. Frank, you've only got about 10 more games to get promotion. And he says, I know, I've got my watch on. I'm only joking. Frank Clark, king of the impossible. Oh. that's the end of that bit. And then it finishes with, hold on, let me just reset my keyboard. I've got a, oh no, there's no keyboard. I've got a heavy duty city lighter. You know I have. I really have.
Everyone's favourite papier-mâché-headed man, Frank Sidebottom.
That was a shocking impersonation of a wave like
Did
song.
anybody ever see his face for real or no?
No.
Nobody saw his face, right? Maybe close friends?
Oh, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Seavey was his real name. And he used to have a little puppet, which was of him, that he had in his hand. That was who he had in the background of the song, Little Frank.
What did you call him? Little Frank?
Little
yeah.
Frank. One of the chants in that song there was Niall Quinn's Disco Pants, which is a couple of other versions of that. There was one about Charlie Adams, the Glasgow Rangers player. The Celtic fans used to sing a song about his sister, which I brought to Swangard. I don't know if you remember that one, Zach.
I remember because you just reminded featuring.
Yeah, do you want me to sing it to
No,
you?
please do not.
Yeah.
Please do not.
Laura
No.
Pants are the best. You can-
Please.
Nice tackle there, Zach.
Zach, not, yeah.
Please.
That's what Laurie said.
Well, oh, no. I want us to have the show going forward, Michael.
You can.
No, please.
If you Google the Charlie Adams song, it's very, very, very similar.
Oh, man.
But what is your favourite football chant then? Like the Curva, you're there with your big megaphone.
It's not that big.
Ah, your wife told me that. What do you like to shout into it? What's your favourite?
Oh, man.
What gets you hard on a Saturday?
My God. Oh, man. You're going to edit all this out, right?
No.
Oh, man.
Haven't time. No, what is your favourite Curva chant?
We do. I like most of them.
Huh.
What
That's a good one. Most of them.
Most of them.
Most of them. It's like how he feels about the players. He likes most of them.
I like the one that you guys do in the 90th minute. I don't know if you still do it.
It's your that's
Okay,
right.
well, that's why.
That's why you like it. Because Steve came up. No, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Because that's original. No one else sings that.
I think the Fire actually do sing it.
What?
But they do it in a different way.
Oh.
Tonight we are Caps. Yeah.
Oh.
So let's set
My
the pitch on
favourite
fire.
song was the Cowden Family, which I have worn the T-shirt before.
You don't have to sing that either.
Yeah,
The Tractor
great.
songs was always an early favorite of mine when I heard it.
Oh, yes.
Going to Edmonton, that's
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
They come from their Lokelly. They haven't got a telly. They're dirty and they're
Yeah,
smelly.
okay. Yeah.
The Cowden Family.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da.
We used to sing that in Swangard.
Yeah.
Well, I
we
forget what, but
we were voted by BBC Radio Scotland the best Scottish football chant of all time. And we sang that live for 16 million people on a BBC show. They think it's all over. Check out the AFTN website, YouTube. That's our UK one. And you'll see it.
I was going to do the
You'll
top.
see me with hair. See if you can find me.
I was thinking about doing the top
That's
5 chants that we Southsiders don't do anymore.
Oh,
but I thought we.
Laurie Jordan's pants
no.
are the
Please,
best.
please.
Oh, the long tan ones. They were always fun.
Yeah.
Different times, Zach. Different times. Anyway, now it's time for BC Soccer Web headlines.
Man, anything to get over that. Seriously, you got to edit that out.
That's a great chant.
Don't talk about editing out during the song because
sorry.
people are going to know.
Oh,
we
yeah.
edited
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
Now we can't
No,
edit
we can't
it out.
edit it.
Yeah, you
You've
just
ruined
ruined
it.
That's true.
Anyway, you are listening to BC Soccer Web headlines on the AFTN Soccer Show, brought to you in partnership with bcsoccerweb.com, your one-stop site for local, national and international news, links, photographs and a lot more. Make it part of your daily reading routine. Check out bcsoccerweb.com. What have been catching those beautiful blue eyes of yours this week, Steve?
I thought they were green last week. Oh, well,
I don't know.
okay. So
I always think your eyes are blue because they remind me of a swimming pool.
Oh, okay.
I want to dive right into the bottom.
A couple updates from last week. Wayne Rooney's the arrest he had at the airport.
Fat
Now
granny shag.
they found out what actually happened. He came back. He went to Saudi Arabia for a day trip. apparently.
Because that's what you
As
do.
you do.
For
Yeah.
like a race. There was a race or something. I don't know if it was a car
Horse
race
race?
or a horse race. I'm not sure which one. He went there for a day trip.
Maybe it was a car versus a horse.
When he came back, he took prescribed sleeping pills. But then because Saudi Arabia, I believe there's no alcohol allowed
Yes.
in Saudi Arabia, when he got on the plane, he immediately started drinking as well.
Yeah.
So he was disoriented
He was
when he came off the plane.
Super intelligent.
And then he disoriented off the plane. He was approached by a officer who thought he was drunk and was arrested. He basically paid $116 worth of fines and was released. And that's it. He's not going to receive any more punishment from anybody. Well, Saudi Arabia doesn't allow drinking, but they do allow piracy. The Asian Cup organizers, they are upset at Saudi Arabia's piracy of their TV broadcast for the Asian Cup. They're basically saying it's backed by Saudi Arabia government. It's a Be Out queue.
Yes.
Which is
We've talked about them before.
Which is, I guess they're taking a piss out of BN.
Yeah.
So they're basically pirating it. The AFC, the Confederation of Asia, is saying that they've already instructed the council to take legal action in Saudi Arabia and is working with other sports bodies affected because they've done this to Champions League, to English Premier, everybody basically they've done to. So we'll see what happens out of there. I don't think anything's going to happen from it, from the sounds of it, because it looks like they're protected by Infantino.
Well, they've done it for so long now, and it's like you feel sorry because it's like being for whatever you think about Qatar and all the stuff around that, and BN and things like that. They spent money to buy the rights, and then they're just being ripped off, and no one's doing anything about it.
Yeah.
What are you looking at on your phone there?
I'm just sending a tweet.
Okay. I hope it's not mattlaurie.com.
No, because what I do when I look at mattlaurie.com, cannot do in the studio.
So some international news. A little bit here. Spanish League Second Division games will be shown on YouTube. They will be broadcasting their games with English commentary in more than 150 countries.
La Segunda.
Yeah. Back to North America, Indy 11, Martin Rennie's team, or coach team.
Yep.
Proposing a $550 million development that includes a stadium. It essentially is a 20,000 seat outdoor soccer stadium. It looks like they're trying to go into MLS as well, trying to become the 32nd team.
Probably 82nd team the way that things are going.
Yeah, their plan is to have in that area have a lodging, office, retail space, public spaces, underground parking structures, and apartments. They're slated to be ready for the 2022 season opener, and they're actually going to be surrounded by multiple apartment and office buildings, offering the tenants a view to of the field from their windows. So it's almost like more season ticket holders.
I mean, there's definitely a market in the area for an MLS team, but you have to feel they're way down the pecking order.
Well, it depends. Like I said, if they're going up to 32 or 30 or something, then it could be a better chance of it happening. In news now, also obviously more stadium news. Columbus Crew's downtown stadium. It looks like it will start construction this summer. The incoming Crew owner D. Haslam has said the team's plans are to start the construction of a $230 million downtown stadium. There'll also be a part of this is their current place they're playing in will be turned into like a public stadium for public use, and they'll be revamping that as well as part of this. So it's good news for them, I guess. Although we don't like their coach anymore, right?
He's a nice fellow.
Now the Crew didn't have to say bye, but we are wishing fond farewell to Marc Geiger.
Fond?
Oh, I just wanted.
Fond might be a strong word.
Is that an acronym? Like pro.
Fond. Yeah.
I can get the first two letters. I can't.
F off.
Yeah. Numpty dickhead.
Yeah. So they've announced. Marc Geiger has announced that he's retiring from refereeing, and he's been appointed as the director of senior match officials with Pro.
From the Curve Twitter account, we tweeted out, this feels like the blind leading the blind.
Yes.
Doesn't it? Like, this is ridiculous.
Maybe he'll be better from farther away from the pitch.
Or maybe it's like, this is what I would do, and then they're like, okay, do the opposite.
Oh man, is he 40? Like I know in Europe, like you have to retire at 45 when you're like in Italy in the Bundesliga. Like when a ref reaches 45, you can't ref after that. How old is the dude? He's not that old.
You can look it up.
I wouldn't look that up just now. There's some really old refs in the VMSL. Slightly different, I guess.
I'm sure some of them can outrun some of the players.
Obviously, Steve Kindle's still starting.
Yeah, Geiger is obviously gone on his way out. Another MLS player who is still in limbo for going on the way out is Miguel Almiron. Newcastle has been told to up their offer. Atlanta values him at 30 million euros. Which obviously would break the record for every player. Obviously not for a homegrown player.
Yeah.
Alphonso Davies still has that. The agent claims that there's 2 to 3 clubs in England, in addition to clubs from Germany, Italy, and Spain that are interested.
Did that article talk about his wage demands?
No.
Did you hear what they are?
No.
£100,000 a week.
But that's
typical.
Pretty cheap for like the English Premiership.
No.
No, it is.
It is.
Okay, I've heard of players that are exponentially better than him who are not on that much.
Now,
more
if
than
his asking price is 100,000, maybe he's expecting 75. Maybe he's asking for 100 because he wants to get 75.
Yeah, you always ask for what you can't get.
Yeah. Some other news in.
Like how we just long for some competency from the Whitecaps FO?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So MLS,
that's one thing.
Other transactions in MLS that happened this week we didn't touch on.
Oh, yeah, talking off.
Minnesota signs Osvaldo Alonso after selecting him off waivers to a TAM deal. He was a free agent, but I think they kind of circumvented that.
Man, how is he getting
TAM?
TAM?
Bit of a risk.
Yeah, how is he getting the TAM?
Yeah. I think he's done great in the league. I would have had him here a couple of seasons ago.
I have a feeling it might be
the honey badger. You like?
I've liked the.
I think it's a 2-year deal if I'm not mistaken. I think the first year is TAM, the second year isn't. So it might be like where you get some money up front.
But how old is he? What's his actual age?
34 or something like that.
And Mark Geiger's 44, by the way.
Oh, okay, so he's close to
death.
Liam Ridgewell isn't staying with Portland.
I'll wipe my arse with money.
He's mutually agreed to part ways with Portland.
Yes.
Player that definitely is not coming is Benny Feilhaber. He is signing with Colorado.
Yes.
Now, he sent Twitter in a hissy fit.
Yes. Some folk thought he was coming here with Ike Para for some weird reason.
Like, he basically said he's going on a plane at 12 o'clock, and I went on the LAX website to see where everything was departing. No direct flights to Vancouver at that time.
But then
I knew it wasn't going to happen.
He said his fun was spoiled by someone from MLS Soccer breaking where he was going in the deal, and it's like, let the guy have a bit of fun.
Got to break the story.
I hate that.
So a couple of news mentions in Canada. Canadian women will start playing in Spain and Portugal in pre-World Cup tests. In Spain, they'll be playing Switzerland and Norway. And then they'll move to the Algarve Cup in Portugal, where they're facing Scotland and Iceland.
I like it. Scotland.
And then they'll be obviously playing
they'll
be playing the final match, a third match to determine the final ranking.
Summon pour vous.
So that's good for them to get starting on
coach,
that.
One of the teams.
Now, last bit of news: Canadian Championship, a new format. So,
yes.
Wait, best of luck to the Canadian women's national team.
Yeah, I already said.
Hopefully, it's a great setup for the World Cup.
So,
Scotland.
Canadian Championship.
It's the Voyageurs Cup.
Yeah.
No, it's the Canadian Championship in which the Voyageurs Cup is presented as the trophy.
Call it the Voyageurs Cup.
It's the Canadian Championship.
It's better than calling it the Amway Cup.
It's the AFTN Canadian Championship.
I think some people still call it the Amway Cup, some of the broadcasters.
I'm going to start just referring to it as the AFTN Canadian Championship and see if it catches on. Get some free sponsorship out of it.
Yeah.
So it's not a great
So the
format.
Voyageurs Cup schedule, let's talk about that.
It is awful.
Yeah.
In my opinion. You may have read my rant, 1,800 words. Someone on Reddit said, didn't read too long.
They say that every time I put something out on the AFTN.
It was a long article. I did say that in my tweet. But it seems so simple.
Yeah.
You've got 13 teams. 3 of them are MLS. 10 are not. Those 10 play a game. You get down to 5. You integrate the 3 MLS teams. You then have 8. And then you have your straight knockout after that.
Yeah.
It seems
surely simple.
It seems too logical.
Although, one of the rumours floating around was that all 3 MLS teams wanted a bye to the semi-finals which would have meant there was only one other place available for the other teams.
Yeah, they can just shut up.
This was a compromise.
Yeah, but
what the compromise? The TFC got it
because as defending champions, they can.
Okay, we knew that changes were coming to the competition. There are more teams. There's going to be changes, but the change.
I was looking forward to it.
But the change of ordering the MLS clubs not based on the results from the year before is a disappointing one. So you're now giving the winners a double bonus: the Champions League and the best seed next year.
Which, to be honest, I don't mind that being the criteria, but it had never been announced.
Yeah,
that's stuff like that.
Exactly. If you knew that the year before going in, that would be fine. But when you don't know, and then it's like, oh yeah, it's TFC, it's our favorite. Okay, we'll give them the extra. We'll let them play. Well, then in their heads, they're justifying by being like, oh, they're gonna have to play at least 2 CONCACAF games this year, CONCACAF Champions League games this year. So we don't want to overburden them because you saw what happened last year when they got overburdened with those 6 extra games.
Montreal's going to end up with 5 games in 15 days. So how's that fair on that club? I mean, I hate Montreal, but the team, not the city. Although I wasn't that fond of the city either. Quebec City I loved.
Old Quebec, yeah.
Really hope that they can get a team in the CPL. But I digress, as usual.
Well, there were rumors about this week about Laval.
Oh, Laval, yeah.
So there's a couple things in your article. I totally agree with you on the it should have been the 10. And then you go quarterfinals from there.
The home and away.
The home and away. The only thing I would say about the home and away, although I agree with you, cup games, it's more exciting when it's not knockout. Obviously, in this country, it's a very difficult place to travel. I honestly wish that it would be an open draw, like a truly open draw, not regionalized.
I'd love that too.
I can understand.
Is it going to be regionalized?
I think.
You think it will?
I think it will.
I think in the first couple of years, regionalizing is better for everybody at this point.
And I would be okay with Steve if they tell us that. In the same way that the CPL came in and said, "Oh, look, our desire is to do pro rel down the road.
Yeah,
we know it's not going to happen in year 2 or 5 or 3 or whatever. Yeah. So I feel it would be nice if someone came out and said that, Steve, exactly what you said.
But
for the first couple of years, it's going to be regional, and then later we're planning on doing totally open draw.
That gives the Whitecaps a huge advantage because you've got TFC, Montreal and Ottawa, 3 existing clubs in the East, and then just the Whitecaps with all these new teams.
US Open Cup, that's regionalized.
It's regionalized as well. But for me, that kind of spoiled it a bit as well.
It's regionalized, and that's exactly what happened, Steve. The first few years, it was exciting. I went to those Seattle-Portland games. They were exciting.
I went to Seattle Kitsap.
There was a lot on the lines. But then Steve, it kind of got stale because it was the same teams every year.
It has got stale. They do at least allow the PDL and the NPSL and amateur teams in.
I knew you were going to say that.
Which is what my dream is for the Canadian Championship to do that. And I get the argument that some of the teams they let in might then not have players if they were to qualify for the Champions League. The chance of that is so remote, and you're not telling me if a BCT Rovers Tigers United or a TSS Rovers made it to the Champions League, they're not going to somehow be able to find players.
Totally, yeah. I agree with you. I would love to see the PDL teams in Canada in it. But I also kind of long term don't want those teams to be in the PDL long term.
No, I don't either. But for them to make the jump, they have to make it more accessible. Franchise fees, I hate. It just have it open. If you want to have a football team, get a football team in there. I know they're doing it for stability because they don't want the clubs to fold. And yes, in England and the non-league pyramid, clubs go out of business all the time.
You saw even in the US Open Cup in the last year or two, with teams that went on runs, they had to like GoFundMe to get to the games. Or
was
it Maryland team or they had to go?
Because one of the amateur teams got quite far.
Yeah, or maybe they played DC in Maryland or something, and they had to like fundraise all their costs to get there and stay there and all that kind of stuff.
It's great that they've opened it up. I enjoy that. I just feel they could have. I just feel, as my article said, it's a giant missed opportunity.
Because it adds basically 2 games. It adds an extra round too.
Yeah.
Unnecessary round.
And that's the whole thing.
There's so
cups.
many games this year. Yeah.
This was my argument around the world. Like the FA Cup, the big teams don't care about it anymore, and they're always saying, "Oh, there's too many games." Because if you draw the early rounds, there's replays, etc., etc. So the CSA is like, "Hey, let's just give these teams lots of extra games." Yeah. Now, obviously, we haven't seen the schedule, so this might work out perfectly.
Well, we've seen the dates.
No, for the CPL. Sorry, we haven't seen the
sorry.
CPL schedule. So this might actually work perfectly for these CPL teams. These might be bye weeks or a quiet week in the CPL schedule.
Yeah.
They might have given them a summer break or something.
It'll be a midweek game, though.
Yeah,
those ones.
Yeah,
but they might not have
dates
weekend games
there.
or something.
Oh, yeah,
you
right.
don't know.
Right.
The one thing I would have been okay with a hybrid too, because even if they went with the 10 playoff for the 5 spots, if those would have been home and away, and then you get again to the quarterfinal, and that's single.
Yeah.
That might have been good.
With a fair draw as well, so that the MLS teams aren't necessarily at home.
Yes,
because you kind of want them not to.
Totally. Oh, sorry. When I say open draw, I mean open. You can play anyone, and the host is by draw. I
mean, I think everyone. Well, maybe not everyone, but I think a vast majority of people listening to this show would love to see the Whitecaps take on Pacific FC in Victoria or travel to Calgary to see them play Cavalry FC.
Totally.
That's fantastic. We still might, but we'll have to see what happens.
And that leg might be the first leg, and therefore you won't see a winner on that for that traveling occasion.
It's also not an incentive. We've wanted the MLS teams to prioritise this competition and play strong teams. This is not an incentive to do that.
Well, but if you listen to Marc Dos Santos, he says this is going to be
Je me souviens.
This is going to be no full squad rotation, etc., etc. He's going to take it seriously.
Well, that's good to know. We'll talk to him about that next Monday. That is it, though, for tonight's episode of the AFTN Soccer Show. Just before we go, let everyone know where they can find you online.
You can find me on Twitter at WhitecapsBeat.
For me, it's at Zachary AM, and I'm a part of the Movement Curve Collective.
I'm Michael McCoy. You can find me on Twitter at AFTN Canada, on Instagram at AFTN Soccer. AFTN.ca is our website. Read all our stuff on that. You can probably find me as well at mattlaurie.com. Although I can't seem to get through to that just now. I just tried. I think their proxy server is down or something, but I missed that site. That was fun. Had a lot of happy memories visiting that site. But anyway, until next time, thank you so much for listening to our nonsense as always. Maybe we'll have a Whitecaps signing to talk about next weekend. Probably not. Anyway, until then, take care and mon the Caps.
Going to your first match is an experience you never forget. The atmosphere of what's going on around the pitch looks beautiful, and you always look and go, wow, I'd love to play here one day. If you get the bug, it's going to stay with you for life.
10 minutes left. Yeah.